Let me put my mic on. What's good, people? What's happening? How is everybody doing on this fine Sunday? Well, that was a lot of preparation that needed to be done. We have my man Jason in the chat. August, as usual. Sefton. Sefton, your name is hard. I know I say it all the time whenever I see you online. But Sefton Sinclair. Hard. Double S's names are hard anyway. How you doing, Jason, man? You good? How is everybody doing on this fine Sunday? We're starting a little bit earlier than usual, to be honest. Typically, I wanted to see if we can stream. To be fair, I'm looking to stream even earlier on Sundays. But, alright, let me figure it out. I'm gonna. Yeah, that'd be it. Oh, congratulations, man. How old? How old is the little one? $14 months. Cute. Cute. Is it still going through those tough sleeping stages, or are you past that? Like, does he, she, they sleep well, or is it a bit of a struggle? So today, by the way, I mean, there's nobody in at the moment. Well, there's barely anybody in, but today I'm hopefully going to get a guest in, which I'm very hyped about. However, this man is a little bit of an unk as well. So I feel like we're going to be running through some technical difficulties. Well, good, I guess. 1 night feed and he will sleep through the night. Oh, bro, that's amazing. Smashed it. In fact, ours wasn't too bad either, but that is lovely. Especially if it's just 1 feed. And do you get up as well, or is it just the missus? And it's fine. It's not like a knock on you if you don't get up with her. Plug the HDMI into the Camlink 4K. Who's coming today? We'll have to wait and see, peeps. We'll have to wait and see. The last time, there was a little bit of a... I mean, anybody that was in the stream the last time remembered that the delay was absolutely insane. So, today's biggest challenge is going to be... delay on when bringing in... ABS settings, hang on. Okay, that's nice, but where is it? Nope. Give me a second, lads. I'm just checking something real quick. It's not going to be Magnus, although I would love to get him on someday. But no, not Magnus today. I would love to. I feel like if it's someone like Magnus or someone that I can have relative access to, I would prefer to just stream when we're there. So if I'm to go there, um, that makes a lot more sense. All right, give me a second, lads. I'm just trying to figure something out here. Oh, here. Okay, cool. Let me see this. Mm, 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 mm-hmm. That's fine. That's fine. Oh, okay. That's cool. What am I doing? Enable. I really got to get so much better at this whole streaming thing. I feel like we're getting there, by the way. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. However, there's still so much to learn, like all the tips and tricks to kind of get going. But yeah, August, what you been up to today? And it's always, I mean, I guess that's quite normal to only have, like, not everybody always chats, and that's completely fine. But it's always funny that you only see like the same people talking, and I love it. Recently came back to Madrid to do what? As in, do you live there or what is it? I live there. I went to visit my family in the north of Spain. Okay, that's fun. That's cool. That's cool. Anything else that's happened? Oh yeah, Mr. Armani passed away. I mean, not super happy news or anything, but that's kind of crazy to think about. He's old, so I'm sure, and I hope it was like an easy enough passing from his family. Rest in peace to the man's for what he's contributed to the fashion world. Busy, 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 busy. Been planning for my collection for my brand, doing as a side hustle, hence busy. The Neymar thing? Is the Neymar thing that something to do with like a billionaire passing and he's got like 800 million to collect or something like that? I saw someone post about it really quickly, but I thought it was like a troll. Is that what you're referring to? Because I still find that crazy. And Jason, share it, bro. Is there anything that we can input, we can talk about? Is this like your first collection, or how far deep are you in the game, if you will? Man, like August with the questions. Let's go. Um, okay, so Sanjeev, I mean, I feel like I've answered this question perhaps plenty of times, but fuck it, we're still waiting for people to kind of roll in and join in. So in the meantime, we can have a nice little one-on-one conversation. So Sanjeev started, mm, technically, officially, our first drop was November 2020. Yeah, November 2020. And in November of this year, that's going to be our fifth year of us operating, which is kind of crazy. And I knew that I mean, ever since I was quite young, like not super young, I think it was around the age of like 16, 17. No, 16 was as when I discovered fashion, if you will. I think 18 or so, I knew that I wanted to do something to do with clothes and a brand. I didn't at that time know about the options and the possibilities that there were. So I ended up taking a gap year after school and then joined university, did a menswear fashion design course, and the ball kind of rolled from there. I took a little gap from designing. Sorry, I didn't know where I was going. I took a little gap from designing, fell into styling because all my best friends and my friends were all musicians. So that kind of allowed me to go into that realm and do some bits. And then here we are. It was just like one thing led to another. I knew that a brand was always going to be not my end goal, but a goal. And then eventually was able to do so. COVID came, kind of gave everyone the push that was needed for people to kind of do more than what they were just doing. And at the time, I was just on social media pretty much full time. And my peers and a few other, not necessarily content creators, but people that I knew of behind the scenes were launching their own thing or had launched their own thing for the past year or so. And so yeah, Magnus came in and he introduced me to Mike, and then how you doing, man? And then Mike was the one who gave me the big push to kind of do what I needed to do with regards to um, the brand. And now here we are. First actual collection. I was doing beads jewelry initially, currently working with two partners to do a mini streetwear high street collection. Cool. Okay, two other partners to do a mini streetwear high street collection. Okay, cool. And then are you still gonna keep doing jewelry stuff? Or are you pausing the jewelry to kind of do the clothing? And yes, I because my subjects at school were primarily science based and drama. I never did art. I didn't do art at GCSE. I didn't do art at A level. So obviously getting into an art school without art at GCSE or at A level was going to be near enough impossible. So I had to go and enroll in a foundation course. So I did a short course, which was a short course on like portfolio preparation, right? And that was at CSM. So I did the short course. Honestly, if it wasn't for the short course, I don't think I would have got into CSM, to be completely honest and frank about it, in the sense that it was at CSM. The tutors really liked me. I was definitely not the best at drawing. I may have had creative ideas, but you got to be able to put pen to paper. And I can draw, but I'm not the best at it, especially when compared to some of my other students that were there, right? Um, but I got on extremely well with the tutors. I think the short course had three tutors, and all three kind of really liked me. The short course was, I want to say, once a week for about 3 or 4 months. I want to say 3 months, once a week, potentially even twice a week. I can't remember. It was so long ago now. And yeah, so basically the short course was aimed to help you guys build a portfolio, whether it is to apply at CSM or whether it is to apply anywhere. And of course, because I didn't have any art background, I needed that. And so did the short course. The tutors really liked me. At the end of the short course, they said, like they asked, like, oh, who wishes to apply to CSM? My best friend had gotten into CSM to do fine art. I think it was fine art or illustration, one of the two, sorry. And I had known of the reputation of the school and how prestigious it was to get in, blah, 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 blah. More so for fashion than it is for anything else, right? So in my head, I was like, bro, there's no way I'm getting into this school. Then the tutors came up to me and was like, you should apply. And I was like, yeah, we'll see. They were like, no, really, you should apply. Cool. So then I worked on a portfolio, applied, got in. That was fantastic. And then from there, you do a year of foundation. They kind of help you build up a portfolio, get you a better understanding of how things work at CSM and how to navigate the art world, if you will. And then from there, I went on to the BA to do menswear fashion design. Did that for a year, and then I was like, cool, I'm out of here because this is not boring, but the first year was jam-packed full of information. So I did 2 years at uni at CSM, and then the last 2 years I was like, nah, I'm out. Because the first 2 years were jam-packed with information, and it was really the years of like teaching you stuff. The following 2 years, you weren't necessarily getting taught new things, but they would keep setting new projects, and with said projects, obviously you would get access to tutoring, and they would tell you what could be improved, what couldn't be improved, which is amazing. However, when you factor in the fact that it's coming up to like 20K a year, so 10K or 9K to be precise, for the tuition fee plus an extra 10K for living costs, etc., etc., it was piling up, and I was like, do I really want to be spending that much to essentially get feedback, which I could get from anywhere? And so yeah, I dipped before finishing. So I dipped at the end of the first year. I told my tutor, I was like, listen, I'm not looking to kind of carry on. And he was like, you sure? But then he always said, listen, I completely understand. And to be honest, he always said like, if there's someone to do it, I believe you can, or something like that. It was something along those lines, which I thought was extremely nice of him to say, especially considering the amount of people that have gone through those doors. He wasn't like saying that in the you're going to be the next best thing, but it was a nice little confidence boost. Or maybe he was thinking that you're fucking deluded anyway, so do it. But yeah, and then from there, styling, few years to design eventually. My girlfriend, who kind of keeps an eye out on my stream, says that I yap too much and I should keep my answers a little bit more concise and to the point. But I don't like to do that, so I'm going to keep yapping. And then I will go back to the chat and answer the questions. Because I'm always curious about when an idea becomes a reality, as sometimes people don't take actions toward their dreams. Wow, August, bro. You're right on the money. I mean, I've said this to you before, but like, not to you specifically, but to everybody in this chat. I am working on this video that was meant to go live today. I have recorded it 3 times. And honestly, it's perhaps the toughest video I've had to record in the sense of like, you know, fashion videos, styling, pickups, bread and butter for me. I can do them all day, every day. They're super easy. They're almost like second nature, right? But actually sitting down and talking to you and kind of answering a deep philosophical question, although still within the realm of creativity and fashion, of course, feels so left field to me. And so yeah, I've recorded it about 3 times. The third time was probably the best time. So I'm going to edit it, but I know that I'm not going to be using it because I don't like the framing. I also think I waffled a little bit too much. So I'm going to edit it, watch it again, see where the main key points are. And hopefully the 4th or the 5th time I'm going to record it is going to be the final version, and then I can put it out because I think it's a great video and it's pretty much touching, on the subject of turning your idea into a reality and kind of just taking that leap. So yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned that. Yes, we'll still be doing beads bracelet. Cool. Shameless plug. DASCSG. Let me see. DASCSG. Are you online? Let's have a look, shall we? Give me a second. So if I can do And then let me click. Where am I going? This does it, yeah. Okay, so you used to do the bracelets. And now you've gone to doing clothing. It's very cool. I like the turquoise. Clean. And did you actually do the bracelets yourself, or that's a cool bell design. But my question is it an actual functioning bell? Because not loud, not showy, just presence in motion. Okay, cool. Because I was gonna say, if it's with every step that you're taking, if I'm just gonna be hearing ding 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 ding, I am unfortunately out, Jason. Let's Sava Butchers. Cleaned it. Honestly, it's a very clean logo. VV clean logo. Personally, I'm more drawn to the back logo than to the little flower. But I know that, at least from what I've read, it's very much, yeah, it bloomed and nature. So I get it. But I think that back logo, very strong. And I think if that was even at the front, could be hard. Okay, we have the flower motif again. Okay, I would love to be able to click next, because I see there's 3 images, but I can't click next. So that would be quite cool as like a feedback to your website. The hat is very sick, bro. Well done. Very cool. And also, this is just me being super picky. And obviously, products aren't, they're not perfect. But you want to give your best to make it look as perfect as possible on the pictures. So for example, here, everything looks clean. This little bit of thing, I know that's part of the design, so that's fine. Could it be tweaked? You could. Here, when you're doing a real close-up on the hat, see this little bit here? This gotta go. This gotta go. Because there's one here. This one here. Yeah, those are little pointers that I would kind of when doing product shots, I'm so freaking picky with it, just to make sure that I try my best to make sure that it looks the best that it can. And sometimes it means capping for the people and just editing little things that gotta go. If they gotta go, then it's gotta go. What advice would you give to people considering studying fashion design with the intentions of eventually creating their own brand? Is it worth it? It is, but it isn't a must or a necessity. But it helps you out tremendously. I think one of the biggest thing that helps people out in today's age is being able to do the little things that other people aren't. And that already gives you an edge. So going to fashion school will teach you how to make patterns. It will teach you how to sew garments. It will teach you how to cut garments. It will teach you all of the little skills that you probably won't ever end up using anyway. Like today, we design a tech pack online. We send it over to the factories. They, based on the references and the tech pack, they make the patterns anyway. And then we tweak them as the samples kind of progress through the initial stages until the final stage. But what is... Ooh, wait, I'm getting off the topic. I'm just thinking about something else. But what is important for you, and it will be extremely beneficial, is knowing these things, because you can technically bypass a huge chunk of time and resources that you'd be spending, and you could do it yourself. For example, someone that doesn't know how to sew, pattern make, cut, etc., they will outsource those skills to get their first sample. If you're versed in that and you know what you're doing, you could be doing the sample yourself for a fraction of the cost that it would cost you otherwise. Send that to the factory. and just say, hey, here's the first sample in this size. Could you make a production run? And obviously we would grade it, you know, assuming you make a size medium or a large, we'll grade it down to an extra small, we'll grade it up to an extra large or an XXL, and boom. So you're basically just skipping through a big chunk of resources and time. So that is the reason why I would say to go study. But even then, that information can be found online. As I mentioned to you guys countless amount of times, YouTube pretty much has a tutorial for everything, right? So you don't need to go to university and spend so much money to do so, but it is helpful. And if you go to like if you're going through like a traditional path, I do think university helps out tremendously. Like having CSM on my CV, even though I've never pursued a proper fashion path, I know my other peers and other students, it has benefited them extremely. So there is that aspect of things as well. I feel like many clothing brand owners don't really go to university for fashion design. Absolutely not. It does not happen very often, as far as I'm aware. Give me a second, guys. Let me just share this thing on the IG so people know we are live. Copy. Boom. Boom. Hang on, I'm just moving up real quick. Bop. We're live. Getting to fashion school even a good deal when social media and following is enough to make a successful brand. Yeah, like I said, I kind of answered that question. If you think people go to fashion exactly. Exactly. Yeah, so if you're going down the traditional method, and probably rightfully so, to be completely honest with you, creatives are often notorious are basically known to be bad business people, right? It's there's only a small pool of people that are extremely creative and good at what they do and also very business savvy. It typically tends to be on the opposite end of the spectrum. So that's why you'll find, a creative director to be the creative person, and then there is like a chief of operation or someone that actually runs the business side of things. And these two are the people battling it out to make things work, because the creative director slash the creative person will want to do some crazy shit, and the CEO or the business mind person will be like, hey, that's not going to make us money. And at the end of the day, we need to get paid, and so does the brand. So that's where the interesting pendulum swing happens. My friends are packing up to go on a styling shoot right now, so I'm just seeing them roll away suitcases of clothes. If you think styling is fun, it is, but my god, there's so much work that goes behind the scenes. And in fact, I would love to. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but there will be a stream when I'm gonna bring some of my friends. And I've said this when I was streaming with Kelly as well. The plan is to eventually bring in people so that we can answer some questions, and they can be doing things in all different walks of fashion, basically, whether it's a stylist, whether it's a producer, whether it's an art director. And anybody that may be interested in those fields can hopefully tune in, find out some stuff, and learn a thing or two, because I think one of the things that, I mean, obviously times have changed since then, but when I was at school and I had just finished my gap year, or sorry, just finished school going into my gap year, I kind of knew, I mean, I was like, it would be cool to work in fashion, but I had absolutely zero ideas about anything. I didn't know any of the roles. I didn't know there was so much to it. And like I said, in 2025, things are very different, but it's still nice to get a better understanding of all the different roles that you can come across. People think, sometimes um, you wanna start a brand, and then you do it and you're like, fuck, like I did not like that. I just like the art direction element of it, or I didn't like the brand. I like the producing side of things. And there's so many different categories and careers out of it, that it would be nice to be able to shed some light and bring people in that can answer those questions and give a better understanding of what goes on behind the scenes. Do you share the office? Is it an office tour? So I have my room, which is the one that I'm filming. I hold all of my stock on my right side. My left side is where the rail is and where you see my when I'm recording videos, basically on YouTube. Then across the hall from me, there is a studio, and that's where on my Instagram Reels, on my last few recent YouTube videos, the place with the green backdrop, that's what the studio is for. And basically behind the green curtains, it's just a shit ton of clothes. And then behind the camera, it's all sorts of equipment that the other two brands that I technically share the office with have. So one is called Avec Nous, which is a styling and creative direction. No, a production agency, and they have their own magazine. And then there's another brand called Second Wave, who are like a influencer marketing agency. And yeah, so it's 3 companies at the office, and it's really nice, and it's in Berlin, and I really like it. How much money influence do you need to kickstart a clothing brand? I mean, in an ideal world, a lot of influence. Money, you can honestly, I mean, it's hard to do without, obviously, but even if it's something as small as like £1,000 or €1,000, and I know I just said as small as, but it's extremely subjective. I mean, it really depends on what you're trying to do, right? If you're trying to go guns blazing all out straight away, you need a lot more. But I think with €1,000, you can still achieve quite a bit. It's just going to take baby steps. So, I don't know, a couple of t-shirts. You run them, you sell them, you reinvest that money, rerun the t-shirts, new designs, and slowly expand from t-shirts to hoodies and sweatshirts to shirts, sweatpants, trousers, and the next thing you know, you've kind of balled up and rolled into something much bigger than you could have ever have imagined. At least that's the goal, the dream, the whatever. There are too much aspects and parts behind the scenes for a brand, hard to do it all alone. Absolutely, man. And that's kind of what I would love to shed a light. So I spoke to my friend, and I was like, hey, would you be cool to join in? She was like, sure. She does styling primarily and a lot of art direction for brands. So I think it'd be really cool to kind of pick her brain, get a first-hand real experience of what it takes to be a stylist, and what it's like besides all the glamorous, like, yeah, I'm a stylist, I do this, I get clothes for free, and that way we can get a better understanding of what goes on behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, etc., etc. Let's see. Nah, broski. Although my brothers-in-law, I mean, technically they're not my brothers-in-law, but, my girlfriend's brothers are like regulars there, and they keep telling me to pull up with them. So I feel like I have to go one day. It's tough with kids. Gee, you should start a podcast, talk about live brand, style, fashion. Honestly, so podcast was something that I wanted to start many moons ago, and then I think I said this before. I'm a professional at missing the boat, and then rowing on a tiny little kayak once everybody's bored of the boat, and then like far off into the sunset. And that's when I'm there with my kayak doing my own thing, right? Same with the live streams. And the same thing happened with podcasts. Like, I should have jumped on podcasts way earlier. And honestly, these live streams for me is an opportunity for me to kind of do what a podcaster would do, which is just chit chat, have people on, answer questions, have conversations, which is, I think, crucial for me, and get a better understanding of the community that we've kind of built over the years. Obviously, not everybody's going to be present. In fact, there's literally at the moment only 7 of us, and that's so fine, you know. Like, I just get to speak to you guys, and out of those 7, there's only 3, 4 people that are actually vocal. So it's just a way, these streams, at least for me, it's a way for me to kind of just chit chat, get to know everybody, have a bit more of a discussion on what we're doing, how we're doing things. And yeah, eventually, hopefully, we'll get to a position where we can do some more fun things on stream. Like, I'm not going to do like a Speed or a Kais and that with their crazy streaming mafiathon or whatever they called, but a stream-along streamathon? I don't know. Basically, streaming for days on end. Never going to happen. But it would be cool to do some more cool stuff, like we discussed the idea of doing like a styling session, or it would be cool to kind of stream live when we go shopping, go vintage shopping across different countries, etc., Berlin or wherever. So yeah, that's kind of the plan. Do fashion directors get too much flowers for their collections when in reality there's a whole team behind that may have done most of the collection themselves? Absolutely. So for me, I'm definitely in the minority here, but I love when designers, so at the end of a show at the big brands, designers either walk out with the whole team, or there's like people with them that do the walkout, or like a Margiela, don't walk out and just, you know, the show happens, the show ends, boom, done. There is obviously the creative director kind of pulls the strings and makes everything, he gives the final approval, right? Him, and I'm sure a bunch of other people, but primarily him. But yeah, man, this so especially at the big fashion houses, sometimes it's the juniors, the interns that might do something crazy. The fashion director, the creative director, sorry, would say yes, we're using it, and boom, he gets the credit for it. And one thing that I'm appreciative of in 2025, at least, with how well everything is being documented, be it themselves via Instagram or even like these series on YouTube, you see the different parts of a fashion house. So you see someone like a Thibaut, which he's known to be the footwear director at Dior, and now he's at LV. But you know that the shoes run through him prior to going to the final approval, right? And it is a collaborative effort. So it's not like these people doing it by themselves. But I think it's nice to kind of be able to showcase that it's not just a one man show, and it's more often than not like tens and hundreds of people working behind the scenes for it. Thank you for that extra light. I appreciate it. Jason, honored to be. Come on, G. We're just chit chatting, man. We're just chit chatting. What's up, YD? YD. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Okay, let me see if this boy is ready to jump on, because okay, let me see if I can get my special guest, if you will. The issue with I'm so surprised that streaming services haven't made it easier to bring guests on. Like, you would think, I don't know, some people do it so well. Okay, we might be going through some technical difficulties, so I need you guys to bear with me, right? To try and get this going. Tschüss. Guess consider the director of filming as well. Give me a second, people. I'm still trying to figure this out. Let me see. Give me a second, give me a second. Link for stream. Let's see if... Who would have thought streaming is so difficult, fam? In fact, if there's anybody that's like tech savvy, I would say build an app where you're able to stream. Hide any, remove, invite, save the house for this one, share this, put a name, select default microphone, select default camera. Retro display animation, we'll see HD binding used powerful, disable stream by a server. Okay, let's see if this is gonna work. Now you explained it properly, and to be honest with you, if it wasn't for the fact that it costs so much, I would obviously have a full team, but it's just so costly, and it is tough juggling everything on your own. But listen, if you want to make it, you got to do what you got to do. You know, interestingly enough, the journey that we had was like we started by just small team, so it was just me and Mike, and then very quickly expanded, perhaps too quickly one might say, where we had a fulfillment center, and it was still me and Mike, and the factories, etc. Then a few years later down the line, it was me and Mike, no fulfillment center, and I started shipping everything by myself, and now it's back to just me, and kind of obviously the years accumulated in the past 5. Did that even make sense? The experience accumulated over the past 5 years has taught me so much that you're able to do things a lot easier than you would have 5 years ago. So, and I know how to do everything, so I can do everything, but I would love to eventually get back into a stage where things can be delegated. I could have a fulfillment center, so I don't have to worry about shipping, and that's all I'm taking care of, and my only focus should and could be on designing, making cool clothes. One of the biggest thing that I want to bring in is someone to do all of the creatives, like the imagery, like an art director, but like a really good art director, someone that's got like their finger on the pulse on what's cool, what's funny, what works. Give me a second, I'm just about to turn on the light. What's cool, what's funny, what works, and have those kind of translate well onto what we're trying to do. Because I feel like the path that I take is very much, you know, not high-end editorial, but we do have a certain look, and I feel like we should kind of change that. And I would love to bring someone more creative to do so. Like, I would love to have like a really nice, I just said that before, but like a really nice art director that I can collaborate with, and they come up with some really cool creatives and concepts. Okay, where are we, Brav? What are we doing? Okay, 1 second. I can see you. Can you hear me? Okay, yo, people, 1 second. But can... Hang on a second, hang on a second, hang on a second. Does this work? Okay, yo, let me just... We're gonna try this. We're gonna try a bunch of different ways to kind of see if it works. If it doesn't, then it is going to be pickles. Okay, oh, 1 sec. Hang on. Yo, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Bro, why is it so fucking hard to have a guest on stream? It's insane. Okay, so man like Greg is kind of unaware that we can see him, which is kind of creepy. But I told him all of the things, right? So let me see. Yo. Greg. How can you not see me, bro? It's so annoying that he can't see, that he can't... Ugh. Okay. Let's do another way. 1 second. Let me see what I can do otherwise would be... Let me go back to this. Let me... Yo, can you hear me now? No. Okay, 1 second. Bro, I don't know why. Bro, I really do need someone that's really about this streaming life, bro. Kelly was meant to be my someone that's really about the streaming life, but even he said, to be fair, bro, bringing a guest is kind of crazy. So let me just see if we can do this. How can I do this? What about? What about? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I mean, you're FaceTiming me right now.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Wait, can you answer FaceTime on your laptop?
Yes, yes, I can.
All right, cool. Then do that, please. And can you also wipe your laptop camera, fam? What is it like? Why does it look like you're on the not this one, their laptop's camera?
Oh no, it's. I think it's because I'm facing. It's because I'm facing the sun, so it's
Yeah,
like.
no, no, no. It's dusty as hell, regardless of the sun. So
Yeah, I
so
got you.
clean that safe. Okay, I think we found a fix, people. God damn it! I don't know why they make it absolutely impossible to get. Okay, let's try that again, shall we? So FaceTime, boom, Greg. Yo, this quality is looking crisp on the face. There we go.
Hey,
Is it? But it's still not clean though.
it looks clean, right?
Well, okay, if that's what we're calling clean, sure. Okay, now give me a second, yeah, because I need to figure this thing out. Because obviously the people can hear you,
Yeah.
um, but I got to make sure that they can see you. Ah, give me a second.
The
So
ca-
say that again.
What's the camera looking like?
Your camera,
Yeah.
honestly, kind of a struggle right now, but we'll figure that out. Hang on. Screen capture. Boom. Whoa. Display, window capture, no application. What's going on there? Yes. Hang on.
You got
Oh
it.
my day, bro. I don't know why these streaming companies have made um, this so hard to do.
Right. I mean, I was trying to connect the cam link, and I think I have to download a software. No.
Camlink, you don't have to download the software. I don't believe so.
Yeah, you just plug, and then it's good to go.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah.
Boom, three, two, one. Can you? You're not on the stream itself, though, right?
No, 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 no. On the YouTube, no.
Okay, good. I,
Right
I think,
now,
to be fair, I think that,
right
that
now I'm to-
I think that might even be better for you not to be on there anyway. Now, let me just see. Hang on a second. Can you lot see Greg? We can't properly hear him. Fuck.
Oh, for real?
What about now? Can you actually say like a few things just to kind of test it?
Yeah. What's going on? What's up? What's
Bet
goody?
better
Better?
or still kind of whack audio wise, people?
Maybe I get closer or something.
Yeah, I mean, if you could get a little bit closer, so then you or project your
Okay,
voice a
so
little bit.
give me 1 sec, because I can move around since I'm on a laptop and I don't have my camera. Let me.
Yeah. Make yourself so that the sun is coming from behind the camera, so then you're shining. You're a beautiful
Yo, you're asking for a lot right now.
you're a beautiful man, and you're there like bloody fucking Looking like you've
Give me
just
1 sec.
come from the shadows, fam.
Can they see me moving around right now?
They can see everything.
Oh damn.
Do you want me to change the camera?
No. It's all good. It's all good.
Go on, give us a house tour then.
Right. I think I'm good. Let's see what we got. Actually, you know what? I'll move this.
Wait, actually, to be fair, that
What?
would be asking a lot because you have your DJI mic. I wonder if you can use your DJI mic as a mic to your laptop, but that requires so much work.
Yeah, no, you're asking for a lot right now. Give me 1 sec. Maybe I'll do it like kind of like I don't know. Yeah, I think that's better, right?
To be fair, yeah. If you just move, yeah, that's perfect. Just move a little bit more to your left. Can you move a little bit more to your left? Perfect. Blessings. Whew. How you doing, my brother?
That's good, right?
Yeah. Now I'm just waiting on people to see if. I mean, first of all, you look much better, so it's all good. Now my thing is how if they can hear you, and I hope that
Can they hear me?
I think so, but
Would AirPods work?
I was gonna say sometimes that does the job.
Give me 1 sec.
Yo, I need you people to kind of reply here. Can you check?
Where's all my shit?
Well, bro, we're showing our age here. This is what people mean by unk.
By what?
This is what people mean by we're getting to that unk stage.
Right?
We're out here trying to fucking make FaceTime work with AirPods. This is not looking good, my brother.
Prepare.
Jeez, there you go. I think that's better now.
Better?
Oh,
Can they?
but wait, can
Yeah,
you?
it's better.
I mean, for
I
me,
can hear.
it's better. Now I'm just seeing if if it's better for the peoples as well. I think it is though.
Yeah, can they hear me? It's better.
Give me a second. I'm just waiting on some feedback, but I'm pretty sure we're Gucci at this point.
Yeah, no?
Yeah, much better, bro.
I bet.
How?
Goody, man.
Oh, they said it made no difference, and some people are saying better.
Suck.
Nah. Those
It's
people.
gotta be better.
It's got to be better. Flacco, fix your fix your laptop or whatever your device you're listening to.
It's your fault.
Yeah, it's not my fault anymore. Hang on, let me see if I can. Greg, you're gonna have to bear with me for a quick second, my brother. It gets like that, though.
I mean, no, it's all good. It's a stream, so makes sense.
But what about now? Now I've like turned him up as well.
Oh, okay, because you can control sort of my volume.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. Okay, cool.
I believe so. Same. Oh, bro.
Damn, that's horrible, man. Yeah, get closer, like.
No. You good. It's on me. I'm the one that needs.
Oh, for real?
I'm the one that needs to kind of sort it now.
Damn. They make it that difficult.
Bro, I don't know why. Honestly, streaming services or like YouTube, if they're really banking on this streaming thing, they should make it so that
Right.
it's so much easier for people to literally just. I mean, to be fair, it is. You can just turn your camera on and go live,
And just, yeah.
which is. I mean, we spoke about it briefly, and I will kind of talk
Yeah.
about it. But one of the big things about streaming is obviously speaking to people and having conversations, and yet they're not making that accessible. Which is like, bro, what's going on here? Grégoire, how are you doing, my bro?
I'm good, bro.
What's
Good,
good?
surviving.
Are you still? I mean, not to be too somber, but are you still employed at this moment? Yeah.
At this moment, I still am, bro. At this moment, I still am. We'll see how things plan out next week, because they're obviously going through court now, and but business is still operating, right?
Okay.
Because they can't just stop working,
Sure. Sure.
And usually these things take time, right? Like it's like you go through court, and then like they make a decision with regards to the company. So I mean, to be honest, everybody has the same information I have,
Okay.
because it's like, let's say they'll tell us what's going on, but you have to think about it from this instance. Like it went public the same time we knew what was going on. So it's kind of, I work, yeah, go on.
Time out. Just for a quick second, and to give a little bit of context, I'm sure everybody watching this stream knows who you are, but just in case they do not, shall I do the intro or do you want to introduce yourself? You can introduce yourself. Go ahead.
I'm Greg. I'm a content creator, personal shopper at Essence. Been doing this for what, a decade now. And yeah, just happy to be here, man.
All right.
Always good to
Go on. You're gonna finish that sentence.
always good to catch up with my boy Sanj.
All right.
Always
Bless.
always
So,
a pleasure.
so just for the people to know, obviously Essence. I think it was it last week or 2 weeks now.
It was last week.
Last week.
Oh no, wait, no. No, it wasn't last week. It was 2 weeks,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Because yeah, you're right. You're right. It was the week prior. Yeah,
So
2 weeks ago.
yeah, so nearly maybe it wasn't a full 2 weeks, but like anywhere between 10 to 14 days ago,
Let's say.
Essence declared bankrupt, and this was news
No,
dropped.
they did not. They did not declare bankrupt.
So,
What happened is
okay,
they
okay,
filed
well,
for a
Greg, take it from here.
Yeah, so they filed for a bankruptcy protection, which is different,
Okay.
right? It's they're just trying to protect themselves. They haven't filed bankruptcy yet.
Okay, and is that
That's as far as I can go.
is that the progressive next step?
I have no idea. Like any to be honest, like anything that you guys, the information that the public is getting is the exact same information that I'm getting. Because you have to think about it. It's when things like this happen, they are in the thick of it. So meaning that, it's they're fighting with their lenders, figuring out what are the next steps. They have to go to court. So they can't really be updating employees at the same time. So now I am sure there's some employees that are getting updates, like let's say, I don't know, like the directors maybe.
Yep.
But like us that are at the forefront, like personal shoppers, we're not really getting as much of an update,
Right.
until they've reached a decision, which will probably be sometime next week. For us, it's like business as usual. Like I was in the office. Well, no, I actually didn't go to the office, but usually we go to the office Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Right.
And my coworkers were in the office, just operating, working with clients. Now, obviously, clients are asking a lot of questions, but it's just so much we cannot say, man. It's
And how many of those clients are saying like, "Yo, so is there a sale happening? What's going on?" Like I know
all of them. But what's interesting is realizing just how, no offense, but just how uneducated people are about like bankruptcy, about where the current what the current fashion climate has been like over the last 2 years. Like people don't actually even realize that there has been a lot of online retailers that have either gone bankrupt or filed for bankruptcy protection. I mean, you think of like Toto Kylo was one of the first, like right after the pandemic. Like, so, not to take over the stream, but like,
no.
I just
By
wanna
all means,
say,
the reason I brought you on is to kind of
it's
shed more information
yeah,
about that.
it's people don't understand just how much like it's been a struggle due to the macroeconomic climate, right? Because you have to understand that a lot of online retailers, especially the bigger ones like Farfetch, Essence, My Teresa, Mr. Porter, performed extremely well between 2020 and 2022, right? And in most cases, what do people do when they're performing extremely well? They end up overspending, most likely overhiring, and this happens in any business, even just you as a consumer. If you think about back to 2020, the way we were behaving is we were sitting ducks. We were at home, not really doing much. The regular stuff that we do, going to get your little coffee or like, doing a quick trip, all that was money being spent elsewhere other than clothing. But what ended up happening in 2020 and 2021 is, everybody was at home. So what were they doing? They were in that impression of like, yo, you know what? I'm not taking my Euro trip this summer. I'm not really traveling. Where am I going to spend my money? Online.
Yeah.
Shopping. You see? So companies like Essence killed it. Like, I mean, I'm a personal shopper. Like, I was at the forefront. I knew I didn't have to do much to sell.
Man
You
was
know,
raking in that commission, yeah?
yeah, but then again, it's like inflation was really high, and then what goes up tremendously must come down. We were getting, people were getting stimulus checks. It's just so much macroeconomically that people fail to understand that, like, the if you start performing extremely and expansionally well through a short period of time, you think it's always going to be like that. So you end up kind of shooting yourself in the foot by overspending, over investing into maybe certain brands. And this is not just Essence, it's just any company. And then that's what's happening now. Now you're just, the chicken have come home to roost, basically, in a sense. So, yeah.
That's crazy. But then you did mention, I mean, obviously, me and Greg obviously speak on a somewhat regular basis.
Yeah.
So there's information that I'm privy to that I don't even
Mm.
know if it's like. I mean, by all means, I'm going to mention it. And if you say, nah, I can't speak about it, just tell me, nah, I can't speak about it. Because
Right,
the
yeah,
last thing I
go
want
on,
to do is
go
get
on.
you into trouble. But I
Right.
think you briefly touched upon it. Things have changed over the last 2 years, right?
Right.
Essence themselves have cut down on the amount of staff they have, but also the brands that they represent. There's been so many problems that I've heard from like smaller brands, independent brands, and even people that have been saying in the chat. Whereas like there's tons of videos of people saying that they're not paying the brands for months, where they'll buy into the collection, they just won't be able to pay them because they see they're not selling or whatever.
Yeah.
So do you think, obviously, like you said so yourself, you're only respectfully a pawn in the grand scheme of things. Do you
Right.
think this was somewhat predictable, or that they were able to turn the tide around? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
It's a bit hard to speak on because obviously, man, you feel for the smaller brands, right? Because this is their big shot. You know what I mean? Like being carried on a huge platform, like whether it's Essence, Farfetch, or anything, and then things trickling down the way they have, especially over these last 2 weeks. It's very difficult for me to speak on because I am not a buyer, right? So I'm not at the forefront. I don't see the numbers. I don't see the brands. Like, you have to understand that, like, my job is personal shopping. So I actually sell the product. I don't buy the product, right? So, seeing some of the things that have been written about, like not paying the artists, not paying the smaller brands, it's such a sensitive topic. I have my own opinions on that, which is kind of, there's no biases. Like, anybody needs to get paid. It's kind of like, if you kind of think about it, the way we work as let's say as content creators, right? And you work with a brand, and then there's like a net 30 payment after you've shot the content for them, and then they pay you 45 days later, and you're
Right.
pissed. You're following up. It's just, and when it's a lot of money, you're kind of like, why aren't they paying me? But
Right.
at the same time, it was a good opportunity, right?
Sure.
So like, if you work with I don't know, like you've worked with Samsung, it's like, boom, great opportunity, right? I'll take up on it, no matter how long it takes them to pay me, because I know it's good money or whatever it is. So I don't know. It's such a sensitive topic, man. And like, I think at some point, like, I've also gotten a few comments on my videos on YouTube, like, and I was like, guys, listen, I cannot speak on it. I don't know the ins and outs of how their business works. I literally am just a salesman. I just sell the clothes. So yeah, but I feel for everybody going through it, man. Whether it's Essence, whether it's the small designers, you know, yeah. But if you inform yourself, there's a good chance you can really understand what's truly going on between both the artists and the online retailers, and how at the core it was a perfect marriage, but now it's kind of like it's going through that divorce, and it's like, you kind of gotta pick sides, but you really don't have to. It's just understanding that, like, when it rains, it pours, man. Like, it's very difficult.
Amen, bro.
You know what I mean? So yeah, we'll see how things plan out, and hopefully, you know, everybody gets paid, and the company, still exists a year from now, and
Bless.
yeah.
I'm going to rewind a little bit back just because it's a question that
Tell
someone
me, yeah.
asked, but also because you mentioned it before.
Mhm.
So you're obviously an online personal shopper.
Yes, sir.
Could you, so interestingly enough, literally 30 minutes before, I was just telling the people about how I think it's really interesting, but also everybody should make more of a conscious effort, especially for people that work in the scene, to highlight and showcase all of the different elements and jobs that there are within the fashion space, right? We often think
Right.
fashion, you think stylist, you think creative director, photographer. Obviously there's more to it, but those are
Mm-hmm.
the big three, if you will.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I just think there's so much more that people might be into. So someone might say, "Hey, I want to start a brand," but actually they're more into the styling element, or they're more into the producing
Right.
element, or whatever. And so I was saying that I would love to basically bring in people that work from all walks of life, whether it's someone that's on
Mm.
the photography side, the creative side, even technically you're not a shop floor side, but you are
Mm-hmm.
the first person, the first point of contact for specific individuals. And so I guess the question is, what is an online personal shopper? What does that entail? And how does like you've answered it in your few videos yourself, but
Right.
what
Yeah.
do you do? Like what does your day consist of?
So, so in a nutshell, like every online retailer that sells luxury product will have a personal shopping team. And what we do is like we cater to like the top tier clients, basically the people that spend the most among that online retailer, right? So whether it's Farfetch, Essence, right? So our department was started in 2017. So Essence had no personal shopping team before that, right? And then they started the personal shopping team in 2017. I'm gonna get to exactly what we
Mm-hmm,
do,
mm-hmm.
but I'm gonna kind of just
Sure,
give
sure,
you
sure.
like a quick history. So 2017 started. I joined the team in 2018. Beginning of 2018, we were about six stylists at that point, right? And
Were you working already for
Mhm.
Essence before that, or did you join Essence as a personal shopper?
No, actually, before that, I was working in banking, bro.
Right.
Like,
Okay.
I was not. Obviously, I was doing content, and like during university, I did do. I worked in retail, right? So I had some previous sort of like what's it
Experience.
called experience. Thank you. With regards to just fashion in general. So, but I knew I wanted to work for Essence, and I actually wanted to work as a buyer, right? But then I got the opportunity. I heard about this personal shopping department that was kicking off, and then at that time I had my Instagram, and I think the Instagram did help quite a
Mm,
bit, right? Because it kind of showed that I had interest in my day-to-day life with regards to fashion, right? Because they really wanted to bring in people that were maybe familiar with some of the luxury brands, people that could kind of get the clientele that we were wanting to pull in, right? So it's like the person that potentially has the money to spend,
mm,
right? So then fast forward, we were a team of six, seven, and then what we basically do is we cater like we have a system where um, the system will find clients that are spending between 10,000 and let's say the threshold the minimum is 10,000 a year,
mm,
right? So that are spending between 10,000 and let's say to $1 million a year,
mm-hmm.
right? And all those clients have the possibility to be part of the personal shopping team,
Right.
right? So what we do is like we'll have a list of those clients. They will be sent like so you have like for example for me I'll have look I want a client that's more into some of the avant-garde brands. I want a client that's maybe athletic or more into sports because that's what I'm into, because they do try to connect clients with the perfect stylist, right?
Sure.
The stylist that might be into the same things that the client is in. So then from there, once that pool
Pause
of
real quick.
clients,
Pause real quick.
yeah, go on, go on,
Not to break your
yeah,
thought. So
mm-hmm.
already though, you're doing a bit more than a normal shopper because there is an element of styling involved as well as a personal
Oh,
shopper.
massively,
Yeah.
yeah, massively, yeah. No, there's definitely a styling like sort of like involvement within the clients that you work with,
Mm,
because so you have the pool of clients. So those clients are actually generated for us because it's all the clients that shop on Essence, right? That spend a specific amount. And we have a tier system. So we have a tier system. PS3 is a client that spends between 50K and over a million. A PS2 is a client that spends between 25K and 50 grand. And then a PS1 is anybody that's around 10,000, right?
mm-hmm.
So the PS3s will be more like then we have VIP and bigger clients. But so once that pool of clients is there, it's on you to basically do what we call an onboarding, right? So like I'll give you an example. I'll have, like, for example, I like to find athletes, right? Because I feel like I gel well with them, and I'm able to kind of really assist them in finding newer brands. Like the athletes usually are like, let's say, between the ages of 20 and 30, and they kind of want to dress cool. They're not really familiar with certain brands, so say, I'm gonna introduce them to something other than Rick Owens and, like, I don't know, Dries, Marnie, just the typical stuff they wear,
Sure.
right? So usually the way so that once you have those clients, then it's on you to actually onboard them. It's on you to turn them into an active client.
Sure.
So that's the part that's quite difficult, because that requires a lot of following up, a lot of just trying to figure out what they're up to. Like, okay, like, for example, for me, athletes are usually pretty laid back during the summer, right? Because their season just finished. So what I tend to do is, like, I'll just, like, I don't know, like, I'll figure out, okay, are they on holiday? What's their number? So I usually have their phone numbers and all that. Then I just reach out. It's just through text, right? And once I activate them, now my job comes in where I assist them with their orders. I introduce them to newer brands. I create decks for them. If they have an event coming up, like one of my good clients, Lou Dort, of the Oklahoma City Thunder, had a lot of events here in Montreal. So we were doing a lot of styling, in-home styling, meaning he comes to the store and we select some pieces. He shops, and that's pretty much it. That's kind of, yeah, that's the life of a personal shopper.
Okay.
You're doing a lot of styling and a lot of selling.
Sick. Okay, well, I think that
Yeah.
answered that perfectly. Um, this is a question that someone just asked, and I obviously know the answer to this, but I think now more than ever, it's really important because I want to know what your answer is, and I want to kind of challenge you on something.
Yeah.
Greg, did you ever think about making a brand? I'm a big fan of, by the way. But did you ever
Yeah.
think about making a brand?
I did. Like, Sanj and I have spoken about this a few times. I did, but I never got around to it because it's just the ROI just wasn't great for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think if I would have started the brand when shit was popping back in 2020, and fucking, and anything I posted would get 100,000 views, and I just felt like, I was working with brands. I was borderline thinking of quitting my job, because I was like, this is it, man. I'm fucking
I
gone.
made it. I made
Sorry,
it,
I don't
bro.
know. I made it. Sorry. I think at that point definitely would have worked,
Mm.
right? Because I had a lot of attention. But it's interesting, and not I'm not gonna speak too long, but I basically recently watched this video, just about turning a personal brand into product, right?
Mm.
And it's by this guy called Alex Becker on YouTube, who's very interesting. And it made me realize why I never really went ahead with it, because my thing was, I always knew that hype, a personal, like, when you personally brand yourself through, let's say, your styling, and like your Instagram is performing well, I always felt like that's like a popular song. Eventually people are gonna move on from that, because there's always gonna be a younger person that comes in that, that not does it better than you, but that's more that people start engaging with more.
Mm-hmm.
And with Instagram, what Instagram does is, like, that algorithm takes a huge turn and focus onto that new person,
Mm.
right? Because they always want to keep people on these social media platforms for as long as possible. So once that attention deviates from you into someone else, it's kind of like, let's say, like, if you think back to when you had your YouTube channel in 2017, 16, it's like anything you post was like, because all the attention was on you. That's how we met, right?
Sure.
And then, like, but that's not always going to be the case.
For sure.
So what ends up happening is, if I started a brand, I always kind of thought about it in the sense where, if I attach the product to the personal branding, I'm gonna have to consistently make sure that the personal branding is as hot, it's consistently on a way up,
Mm.
in order for my brand to perform. Because once my personal branding slows down, it's going to affect the product that I'm selling, even though the product might be very, very good.
Mm.
And that kind of scared me. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And yeah, if you guys can go watch that video, because it was really exactly everything that I think. And that's why I never it's why I never quit my job either.
Fair.
And I know you were like, bro, you're crazy.
No, no, no,
Take
no,
the
no, no, no.
risk,
I don't
and
think you're crazy at all. Like, I
yeah,
completely. I mean,
yeah,
first of all, you know my stance on it. I don't think most people should be creating brands. I think you, however, do have your own vision, and I think when the
Yeah.
time has comes, I don't even know if it's going to be a fashion brand. I think you're tapped into so many different walks of creativity that I think whatever you decide to pursue, I can't wait for you to share that with the world, right?
Right.
However, and this is
Tell
interesting
me.
because one of the things that you always said differentiates me from you is
Yeah.
my ability or my delusion, if you will, to just take the leap. And you've always been a bit on the safe side, which is fine. And that's how the world works. Go ahead. You were about to say something.
And you like, I mean, guys, it's not, I always give you your flowers even when we're not on a fucking
Mm-hmm.
live or anything, but like that's one of the things that I think like I admired so much about you,
Mm,
right? It was like it's and I love having people around me that are just so different from me because I think it does obviously help us grow, right? But
sure.
like one of the things that was insanely admirable is just how like you're so like you just always take that leap of faith
Mm,
and like I admire it because for me it's like I'm such a safety net guy, I'm such a security first guy, and you're like almost the complete
yeah.
opposite. Like
I'm
you're like
like,
security, but you're like we're running it, bro. So it's like, but the thing is like you do it with so much intention,
right.
you know what I mean? There's so much drive, intention, and discipline, I'm like, damn, like sometimes it's like it's very admirable, you know what
Mm,
I mean? Because I do wish I would have gone and done the brand and like figure it out,
mm,
because it's like the quicker you it's not even a failure, but the quicker you kind of like figure things out, the
sure.
more you can learn whether it's gonna work or not work and move on to the next thing. Whereas like for me, I kind of played like very safe. I'm more of a like a marathon runner than a
Yeah.
sprinter,
Yeah.
right? So yeah.
So because of you, and so one of the things that me and Greg would always speak about is, brand and the need, and even if it's not a brand, just being able to be completely self-funded, right? And obviously, Greg
Absolutely.
is an extremely successful, in my opinion, content creator, generated bags upon bags, and is still working with brands. And for me, when I found out this news, now I knew that your job wasn't on the
On the verge of.
what's the word, man? Like, when you're about to get burned, basically. But I knew that your job was still safe, right?
Mhm.
But it was interesting because I know that you always said Essence is like, I know it's never going. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's me in the back.
Yeah.
Like, that's my
Yeah.
wall. I can lean back
Yeah.
against it and I'm good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
life is so interesting because I mean, obviously we knew that retailers were struggling, but
Mm.
this could potentially be the crumbling wall that enables you
Absolutely.
to propel and do. I mean, you might look for another safety net, and that's completely fine.
Yeah.
Or you might just be like,
Right.
fuck it, this is my opportunity, I'm going to go for it.
Right.
And I
Right.
just think life works in beautiful ways sometimes. And I
No,
just
you're absolutely
I
right.
wanted to say that to you because I didn't get the opportunity to
Yeah.
do so.
Yeah, no, man, you couldn't be more right, man. Even my girl was telling me the same thing. Like, it's just, yeah, no, you're designed to add other than like, yeah, life does propel you in so many ways too, and comfort is never good, right?
I don't know, man. People, people.
No, no, no. Listen, no, go, say what you were gonna say.
I mean, I feel we're going to say the same thing. Comfort is never good. I completely understand that. And you should always look to be uncomfortable in order for you to grow. But I'm also not someone that fucking wishes to be constantly uncomfortable because that shit is not,
Exactly,
bro, it's not good for your health. It's not good for your mental. Being
bro.
constantly always like, yo, what the fuck am I doing? What am I doing? How am I doing? And being on the edge and not knowing what's next, you're getting
Bro,
fried. So having little
that's
pockets of comfort is fantastic. And I'm always a believer of like, my comfort personally is my
mhm,
family and my friends and like the people that
I love that.
my loved ones, so it's like
Mhm.
my work can be the uncomfortable area where I'm like, yo, I don't know what I'm
Yeah,
doing or whatever, as long as I can call my missus, I can speak to my kids, I can speak to my boys, I can speak to my mom, my brother, my sister, and these people are
yeah,
there for me. That's my comfort,
yeah,
and I feel
yeah.
like we share that sentiment as well.
100%. No, 100%, man. And one thing that I've actually, not to get too deep, but one thing I've learned to practice, and I
Get
think
deep, my
my girl
brother.
kind of,
We're trying to get deep
my,
here.
my girl kind of like sort of made me understand that it's just the ability to practice gratitude, right? Because I think like even when you just look at social media in general, the climate of social media today and the people that started early on and how much we talk about it between content creators, just the struggle of growing our personal brands these days and how difficult it's become, and just feeling very frustrated, right? And one of the biggest things that I've learned to practice over the last like 2 years, I would say, even, it's just like specifically this year, is just gratitude, man. Like, and I think that's something that I didn't do before because I was young and just very ambitious and very like, I'm just gonna go get it, bro. Like, especially because, through you specifically, because you did shine a light on my platform. Like, I tell you, I give you your flowers every time I can, right? And I tell this to people. I'm such a guy that, like, if someone ever did something for me, it's like I never forget it. It's like I'm going to war for this motherfucker till I die. You know what I mean? Because at that time, it's like you're producing content and then you get this guy that's like doing massive shit, be like, yo, guys, pay attention to this guy. And then, like, I get this massive amount of people, just gravitate towards my platform, and like I grow my business, my personal brand. I don't want to call it a business, my personal brand, and I'm able to work for brands and all that. And it kind of gets you into the space where you always think it's going to be like that. And like we were saying earlier, it's like life has just such a way of humbling you. You know what I mean? And I think when you're touching everything and everything is turning into gold, you just get into the zone where you're like, can nobody fuck with me, bro?
Bro,
I'm turned.
you're in the
You know?
zone at that point. You're like, yes.
You're like, they don't even matter. Sleep doesn't matter anymore. Nothing matters. You can wake up at any moment and be like, I know what I need to do.
Yeah.
You know? And over the last 2 years, I think that's kind of been a humbling experience to be able to kind of like horn back into like, okay, where am I at in my life and what direction am I going in? And like, I don't have as many eyes paying attention to me, but who the fuck cares? Like, I grew this shit. I did that. So it's like, you just kind of, you got to feed back into like not letting certain things kind of dim your light.
For
You know
sure.
what I mean? And then you do that through practicing gratitude. It's like just being thankful of where you are already, just as a guy that's just trying to, because it's always a roller coaster. It's never gonna be fucking like I'm going up. It's not like,
Yeah. No, I
so
mean,
that's something I've learned to practice.
for
Yeah.
sure. Because
Just
I
gratitude.
remember, no. And our last FaceTime conversation, I remember you saying that, and I was like, yeah, that's one thing that I personally never do. Like, and I should
Yeah.
100% because I know everybody talks about it. Wake up and you write the 5 things you're thankful for, and I'm like, sometimes, like when shit gets super stressful,
Hmm.
like you're completely surrounded by, fuck, here's like all the things I have to take care of. And my girlfriend also reminds me of that. It's like, there's been times when I was like, yo, this has been the shittest year of my life. Let's just say that, right?
Exactly.
And I've said that. I'm like, yo, this year was fucking terrible for this and this and this and this and this. And she was like, yeah, but also look at all the amazing things that's happened. Obviously, because I'm
Exactly.
so like worried about all the negatives and the things that are on my plate, you forget about that shit. And then you're like, oh,
A hundred
actually,
percent.
you're right. So yeah,
Yeah.
practicing gratitude is something that I need to step my game up on. But it
Yeah.
is hard personally when things are just piling up in front of you and you're like, bro, what gratitude? What is like? I'm like,
Bro, I'm the same, bro. I was literally, when you were texting me, it's because I was upstairs on my roof because like just complaining, and it's like, and that's just being completely honest, because but that's the thing though. If you kind of look at, like, it's been a lot of people have had shitty years over the last 2 years, but people don't understand, like, everything starts with, like, everything is macroeconomically, like, it's like when you're running a business, it's like, but like economies aren't doing well, people are feeling more broke than they've ever felt. Like, yeah, there's some people that are doing great, but like, it's like the majority of the person that works at 9 to 5 is like feeling that their job isn't secure. They're feeling that their pay raise aren't enough, and 'cause we forget about those things, right? When you're running your own business, or when you're trying to just do things on a bigger scale, you kind of think that like you're just thinking about yourself, but you don't realize that, like, in general, it's been like just a very difficult climate. You know what I mean? And no wonder we feel like, oh, everything I'm touching is just an L right now. It's like what should I be grateful for, bro? Like, I haven't caught a W in so long, bro. What do you mean? But then it's like, nah, bro, I have a family, I have my kids, I have good people around me. But it's like, but being a guy's guy, you kind of just like, yo, my people always been there, bro.
yeah,
Like, what do
bro,
you know what I
facts.
mean?
I'm like, these
Like, this
motherfuckers.
dude is.
I'm like, these motherfuckers been there. Like, that ain't nothing new, fam. I need something new.
You know what I mean? And it's like that. But again, it's funny because it's no matter how much we love fashion, clothes, and like and like we forget to even be as thankful as like, bro, at least we're doing certain things that we have passion for. You know what I mean? Like I know people like that are doing jobs that don't fulfill them, that they drag every Monday, that like, and I've been in that position, working, even just like studying economics when I was like in my late teens, early 20s, just I wasted so much time in university, but it's not really wasted because I did get an education, but it's just like going into fields that I wasn't passionate about, well through my mid 20s, and you start realizing like sometimes when I get overwhelmed, I'm like, yo, you know what? I still managed to like turn my life around in the sense of like I took a leap of faith and went into something that I didn't think I was gonna ever make money out of it. I built somewhat of a small audience on a platform and got paid doing that. Like that's I'm thankful for that. But again, as humans, we always push the goalpost and we always want more.
Sure.
And like the greedier you get, the less you have.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
It's always like that.
Yeah.
Just it's like a stock. It's like you see it at the peak and you go invest in it and that shit just shoots all the way down. You know what I mean?
It's like big.
So
it's like XRP, fam. I'm jumping in
you see what
thinking,
I'm saying?
yeah, it's about to
All the-
go.
You see what I'm saying? It's like people investing into shit thinking, oh my God, it's going to the fucking moon. And then it just dumps on you. So it's like, I feel like that's kind of what we've lived through over the last 5 years. It's just like, I think part of us got cocky. Part of us needed to be humbled. Part of us needed to go back to the drawing board. But we're still alive, we're healthy, and that's what matters. You know what I mean? Like, you
Amen.
went through a health scare, but look at how you've come out, and like, you have a beautiful family now, and like, good friends. I know it sounds like corny and shit, but it's the truth, bro.
Nah,
it's
facts.
like those are the things that matter, honestly.
Facts. Honestly, yeah. Facts. Someone
Mm-hmm.
said, "Yo, this essence talk turned into a deep talk real quick."
I know. That's usually what we do. That's usually what
Literally,
we do.
we start off with whatever needs to be like
And
discussed,
then
and then we just go into a deep one. There's a couple of questions that
I have a question for you, actually.
Okay, hit me.
I have a question for you. How are you feeling coming back on YouTube? How's that been for you?
It's fun, man. I mean, to be fair,
Yeah.
the thing for me was I always knew it was.
Because you left us.
Okay, relax. I always
You
knew.
did leave us.
Okay, you can't say you leave us because you post
You
once.
literally left us.
No, I did. I ain't.
This guy left and never came
Yeah,
back.
yeah, no. Okay, well, never came back. I'm here. I'm doing videos, man. What would you want?
Yeah,
from
you're
me?
here now. Now you're here.
Honestly, nah, it's been amazing. The thing is, it was always a case of leaving, quote unquote, leaving. Not that I lost my voice. It was just, I've said this to you privately. It's like not knowing what I wanted to share, feeling. I don't know. Like you said, like the eyes are no longer on you, and I was like, do I really want to be fighting for attention? Like, I'm in my 30s. Like, what am I doing here? But then it's like you said, where if the brand is kind of reliant on the person as well, you do have to maintain it and keep it up. And I think if you look at the people that have done this amazingly well, the name that pops off to my head is Daniel Simmons, for example.
Right.
He's been able to stay true to himself, and I think that's always been the key to succeeding on YouTube, is being authentic to who you are. So it's just Daniel, for example, like stay true to himself, kept posting, but changed the directions of his videos. So he went from fashion heavy to more vlog and everyday stuff.
Right.
And that has allowed both himself as the personal brand, but also his brand to propel onto new heights.
New heights, yeah.
And so for me, there was an element of like what it is that I want to share. And I always felt like, fashion, and I said this earlier in the stream, fashion is like my bread and butter, right? I can talk about it so easily. I never had to script a video. None of my videos have ever been scripted. At most, bullet points. It's just like off the dome, boom, 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 boom.
I go. Right.
Now, there's this video that I want to speak about, for example, that I filmed 3 times already. And it was meant to go it was meant to go live today. It won't go live today. It'll probably go live this upcoming week. And it's on the subject of bringing your ideas to life. And
Right.
not necessarily wanting to be first, but being at the right time. And it's such
Mm-hmm.
a deep and philosophical topic on the creative side, but it's
Yeah.
something that I feel somewhat passionate about. So I was like, I would really love to do a video on this.
Uh,
And bro, I'm struggling in the sense of like, go on.
I was gonna say, I'm like, just to touch on that is because I think that's a part of you that you actually hide pretty well.
Sure.
Because I think like getting to know you personally, it's like you crack jokes and all that. But I actually think you're a very intentional person,
Mm,
and I actually do think that with your mind, you do have those deep thoughts
right.
of like, oh, I would love to speak on this. I love it, but I guess I understand the whole concept of like once you've branded yourself as this fashion guy,
Yeah.
it's very difficult to deviate off of that, you
Yeah,
know?
there is that,
And
and it's
and
go on.
no, I was just
Nah,
gonna
and
say
it's
that.
not. I mean, I get it is a deviation from that, but it's still going to remain within the creative lens. So it's not like I'm
Right,
going
exactly.
complete 180 talking about something super deep and philosophical.
Mm.
But bro, the biggest imposter syndrome. I'm like sat there talking about it, and it's not like imposter in the sense of like I'm not believing what I'm saying because I am.
Right. Yeah.
And it's interesting actually because I think one of my favorite videos from you is actually the one that you just
Yeah.
released. You've done
Yeah.
amazing videos in the past where you talk about
Yeah.
when we see the clothes. I mean, that one that I watched on the live stream with the big
Oh
fur
yeah,
coat.
yeah, yeah. When you were
Woo!
fucking
Bro,
rinsing me and
I
shit.
don't I don't know if
That
you,
fur crazy.
bro, did you end up getting it?
No, bro. Like with everything going on,
Yeah, okay, maybe
I
not,
gotta
maybe
wait.
not. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I gotta wait and see what you know.
Maybe not. But what I loved about that last video, and I'm also going to tie into one of the comments that someone left. Greg
Right.
explains things really well and has a cool way of thinking. He's very organized with his ideas.
Mm.
Someone just left that in chat, and I completely
Oh,
agree.
thanks.
And I think that's why I was gravitated towards your last video. And I feel like
Mm.
it's something that we should all tap into a little bit more. At least the people that
Mhm.
can. It's like, yeah, we can
Mhm.
talk about fashion, and yeah, we can talk about get fly, do this, do that. But there's a whole different realm of things that we're also that still links to fashion because like what you said in that video about finding your personal style and really looking inwards more so than outwards,
Yeah.
it's obviously applicable to fashion, but it's also much
Yeah.
bigger than that. Much
A
like
100%.
much like this concept for this video for this next week where I'm talking about ideas and
Mhm.
the birth of them and how to bring them to
Mhm.
life.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'm really leaning into my unk era basically, and I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
listen,
Yeah.
I'm now in my 30s. I'm cool to do. I'm not gonna do pickups video as much just because I don't shop that
Yeah. Right.
much, but I'll
Mhm.
do them when the time comes for it. I'm good to do
Yeah.
styling videos because it's still fun, but I'm not gonna churn
It's
them
still
out like I
fun. Yeah.
used to. I
Mm.
really want to lean into that, not deep and philosophical, but like answer some questions, do a bit more talking,
Yeah.
see basically the years that I've accumulated experience and all these different fucking wisdom. See if I can share that
Mhm.
basically. So that's the
100%.
that's the aim of the game now.
I like that because also the other thing about that is we have to think about, you know, when 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 let's say you were making these fashion videos 2016, 15, 17, you got to think about how old the audience was, right?
Right,
Like that's something I've been thinking
for
about, and I'm
sure.
like, this audience, they kind of grow with you, so they're probably in the same sort of like environment that you're in now, like just being in your 30s and like having a family, and there maybe like maybe have a family and also have a work or trying to start a brand or trying to be an entrepreneur of some sort. So it's kind of like these people kind of grow with us, right? And I think like I had to come to the conclusion as well, through just like especially Instagram, where I was like, bro, like now I view it as nobody's paying attention to me. Like
Mm,
it's all good. Like and honestly, that's when you were the most. If you kind of think about it, when those eyes weren't on you, that's I personally feel like that's where you're the most creative and the most free
sure.
because creativity is free, right? But I think like once you attach numbers to your creativity, then you kind of box yourself in. And also, in my opinion, I started seeing that like you become fearful of actually expressing yourself. Whereas the reason why we came on these platforms was strictly not to influence, it was just to express ourselves,
Sure.
right? So like speaking, and I think what makes us not keep doing that is the let me find the words, it's the
Fear?
feeling, the fear of failure. Thank you very much. So like you just mentioned, like Diaz, Daniel Simmons, and he's done a great job, right? And one of the things that I always think about is like, okay, we've maybe also thought about like switching the content or doing this, but maybe let's say you post a video and like let's say the video that you say you liked, I love that video because it was just me just talking, bro. It was just like, I just want to make a video. It's nice out, I know my girl's up to in the background. She's trying to pick some
Bro,
like
when she
I
was
literally
like
just set
this,
it up. It
passed
was
out like
hilarious.
this.
She was literally because she was just enjoying the sun, and I was like, "This is great. This is like so authentic. This is unplanned. This is exactly what I liked." And I realized like for example, like us talking to a camera and being, it's something we've done for a while, but we enjoy it. Like you doing these streams right now, it's like it feels comfortable, it feels freeing, it feels purposeful, right? But you're not seeking anything from
Sure.
it, right? And I think like as we grow into these social platforms, we tend to kind of like start seeking certain things, whether it's like more numbers, more views, more money, more this, and that kind of it's becomes this thing where like the video you want to make, you're not fearful to make it because you're thinking about the numbers, you think about how it might perform, how it might not perform, and this and that, and that hinders your creativity. That kind of, I don't know, like that. It's something that I've thought about a lot. Where I'm just like, we're getting older and wiser to a certain extent, hopefully, and we can discuss anything that we truly want to discuss because we're more than clothes. We're more than, you know what I mean? Like at the core, we just be in sweats, bro, and like a hoodie. Like, we love this shit, but like we also have other interests, bro. So yeah.
Ooh, one second, one second, one second. I did
Go on.
something. I basically switched some shing up and I've disappeared myself. Give me a second.
Oh damn.
No, no, no. I just wanted to make sure that people could see you better, and in doing so, I took myself out of the game. But that's cool though,
Oh,
because the messaging was absolutely delightful.
it was.
What's your Sunday looking like?
Very chilled, man. I'm gonna go do some mobility work now. I shot a video yesterday,
On?
uploaded it. It's on YouTube right now. Y'all go
Jeez.
check it out. I can't come on here and not shout myself
Of
out.
course, my broski.
No, but no. So I did that. So today I've actually been trying to fix a knee injury. So I had to go do some. I had to go see a doctor on Friday,
Okay.
and I've already been doing the rehab and shit. So I'm doing X-rays on Monday. So I'm gonna go do some stretching, some mobility, and then yeah, just take it easy, man. Get my steps in. That's something I've been obsessed with getting my steps in. So
Bro,
it's crazy.
Kelly
That
Kelly's like on a steps. Like he's like, bro, I need to hit my 10K. Like I
it's
need to.
insane.
And I was like, bro, he stayed at a hotel maybe
Right.
30 minutes from here. And I was like, bro, just get a car. It's raining. It's a 5 minute Uber ride or 30 minutes walk.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was like, bro, I got to get my steps in. I was like, brother, it's raining.
I love that.
Don't do that. I was like, it's raining.
I got an umbrella.
He was like, I don't care. I'm not made of sugar. I've got a hat on. I was like, all right, cool. If that's how you're gonna do it, then do it. And
You become so obsessed with it. It's crazy.
but I walk everywhere anyway, so I feel like I hit my 10Ks just.
Do you? But do you? No, 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 no. I'm telling you, you may feel like it, but like actually, you need to track it because if you don't track, I'm telling you, there's so many times where I've been like, oh yeah, I'm probably at like 12K. I check my health app. I'm at 8K. I'm like, what? There's no way. There's no. So actually, like, no, people don't understand that hitting like over 10K steps, it has to be intentional, or else you don't get it done. 100%. I don't know if people can agree in the comments, but yeah. I notice when I'm not tracking, I'm usually around 8. Sometimes I might get to 9, but I'm like, if I don't see that 10, I have failed today. So
Damn. Someone goes, Greg has made me want to start working out to make my fits pop off harder. Hey, tell him.
I mean, listen,
Tell him.
it is intertwined though, right? Like we can agree on this. We've discussed this in the past, like if we talk about fashion and clothes for a little bit, but like we've talked about how when I'm bigger, when I'm like 215, 220, I could put on like a great outfit, walk out the house and be like, this feels like shit. And I'm not trying to say that you can't dress well when you're big. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying if we're keeping it 100, right? It's like your health and the clothes that you wear, it's a perfect marriage. You feel more confident when you're healthier, right? Which means that you are more daring, with your style,
Yeah,
with
yeah,
how
yeah.
you want to dress, and all this other bullshit. Y'all just be lying to yourselves, bro. It's like, well, if you're gonna have a burger every day of your life and then be like, oh, I feel like shit in my clothes, it's like, well, guess what? You're not applying yourself in the areas that you need to be applying yourself in.
Hey,
So it's not
just
to be harsh, but it's just to say what
by the way, he's atting me when he's saying that. Yeah, let's just get that. He
Absolutely not.
he
No,
is
no, no.
he is fully talking to me, and I completely agree. And I think it was you and Felipe that kind of shared a similar message. And obviously people talk about, like, as soon as you say anything along the lines of what you're saying, it goes into like, oh, you're fat shaming, you're being fat phobic, and it's like,
Exactly.
I mean, I get it, whatever. But I think one of the interesting things that both of you guys touched on, and it doesn't get talked about very often, is how good being not even in shape, bro. I'm talking about just the journey of like of of going to the gym and being active, and then what it does for your mental, and therefore
It's insane.
what it does for when you're actually getting dressed. And
Exactly.
what you just said, literally about feeling braver.
Yeah.
There is an element of like, and it's not cockiness or whatever, but it's like, yo, I look fucking good. Like, I don't care
Yeah.
if I'm wearing clothes or not. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, please wear
Yeah.
clothes. Don't walk around butt naked. But when you feel so good in who you are and like how you look and
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
you're willing
Yeah.
to be like, yeah, let me try something out. Let me do something.
Yeah. You know, and the thing is that it only takes, the thing is like it only takes 45 minutes of your day. Now I understand, like, for me, working out is sort of like my safe space. It's kind of like my meditation, right? There's never, ever since I was a kid, I've loved sports, I've loved working out. It's what I love to do. But like, it's also just like the foods that we eat. We don't realize that, like, all these, and I don't eat perfect, man. I eat whatever, sometimes I'll have a burger here and there, I'll do this. But it's just like, especially when you're going through tough moments, again, not to get deep, but like when you're going through tough moments, people don't realize that, like, little things that you do, like, for example, I wake up, yeah, I'll go on my phone for a bit, but I always try to get like sun at some point in my day, right? Like, and this is something that I encourage even my friends. Like, I always tell my friends, I'm like, we don't realize how much we isolate ourselves when we're in dark places, and what that does to us mentally. So if you're already dealing with something like where you're kind of trying to figure out what your next step is, and you're feeling undecisive about life and things like that, like, going out, getting some sun, getting some steps, honestly, it will clear your mind. And people look at that and think it's a joke, but I'm like, it's very serious. The food that you're gonna eat once, like, let's say you get back home, like, all of that dictates what you're gonna sort of think about, how you're gonna behave throughout the rest of the day. So it's like, if I wake up and I have a shit ton of sugar, and then I come and I sit on the couch and I work, and now I'm hungry, so I go have, like, more bread, more this, more that, all that emotionally affects me, I'm telling you. But and also it clouds my mind, so meaning I can't think clearly, you know and so that's why, like, for me, it's become a thing where, especially like ever since being like 30, and now I just turned 34 this year, where it's like ever since
Damn.
30 my 30s, it's like I went, yeah, can you imagine, bro? Like, it's like, but I love it because, you know what, Sanj, like, not even to joke, but like, when I was 28, 29, I was so intentional with how I wanted to, and how I wanted to approach my 30s, right? So I started implementing these little things where it was like, I love to have a drink every now and then. So like, I started doing these 6 months no alcohol, and they cleanse my body. January through June. June is my birthday. And then I started realizing, like, now as the year went, I was drinking less and less, and not even, and it's good for my body. I'm just taking a break, right? Like, when it comes to sugars, I started kind of seeing, like, I love sugar. I'll have a chocolate croissant every now and then, or things like that. But like, it's just like learning how to discipline yourself to not overdo it. I think, just to finish this whole thing I'm saying, is my biggest thing now is about creating balance. So when I talk about gratitude, I also understand that I still need to go out there and conquer and, like, fucking do what I need to do and be uncomfortable. But I also need to practice gratitude.
Sure.
Right? I like to train, but I try to not overtrain and, like, do other things other than training. Because sometimes people that actually love training, sometimes that can be a form of escapism. right? Where you don't want to face the hard work that you need to be doing, like
Mm.
researching, developing a new skill. So you'd rather go train because it's the easy thing to do.
Sure.
So it's like all these things I've realized, like now it's like I kind of think more about how do I balance my life? How do I work hard but also still be present? I don't
Sick.
know. Like,
What a beautiful
I
way
don't
to
know.
what a beautiful way to potentially end the stream on, fam.
Right?
Hey, firstly, I mean, there's one question that someone asked that I wanted to kind of go back. Um, Wait one second. Chat today is a bit low. What's going on? It's a Sunday, man. Like Greg's in town.
On Sunday, yo, people got shit to do, I
Do
guess.
you know what I'm excited for? I mean, I'm gonna go
Mm,
back to the question, but it's like you mentioned this, where it's like these streams are not doing anything, right? And that's kind of
you're right.
I love the fact that I'm able to just have like a small group of people and just have a chat,
Mm,
whatever.
mm, mm.
But there's so many interesting people in my life, you being one of them, and I
Yeah.
can't wait to. I'm not gonna fucking call you every week like, yo, let's hop on stream. But I think it would be really nice to be able to be like, yo, come on stream this weekend, like every 6 months,
Yeah.
once a year, whatever it
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just being able to share your brain, I think,
Mm-hmm.
is something that I'm
It's
thankful
dope.
for, and so thank you for coming on.
Thank you, man.
And the question was, and it was something to do with the social media side of things. Give me a second. Blah 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 blah. Oh yeah. So what do you think is the key? I mean, it's tough to say the key
Mm,
because you don't have none of us have the answers. But you've done social media for 10 years, give or take,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
coming up to a decade. What do you think
Yeah.
is the key to a long career in social media, and how do you stay on track with all the things that you have mentioned previously with regards to being fresh, fresh as in like on people's mind and beating the algorithm, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think for me, one is to not see it as a career. I think one of the biggest things that people have done as content creators is really think that they're running a business when no, you're just running attention, right? So I think what can give you longevity is strictly doing it as unless you're very, very intentional about like, I don't care what it takes. I really want to develop a personal brand and like attach it to a product and do all the things that I see being done. I think for me, creating content is now an area where people are just expressing themselves. It's not really a career. That career, the people that feel like it's a career, it's something that just comes to you.
Hmm.
Like nobody can sit here and explain how some of the biggest influencers are able to do. They can't sit here and tell you this is exactly what I did to generate 1 million views every video.
Right.
It just kind of worked. Like yes, there is always a tactic, but it kind of just always worked.
Hmm.
So it's like Daniel Simmons pivoting is him pivoting and it working, and it's like okay, we'll run with it.
Yeah.
It's working.
Yeah.
Why would I? You know what I mean? I could give you the same video for 2, 3 years, and if it's working, it's working.
Yeah.
People are interested. Great. I've managed to hold attention more than other people have. So it's like I think part of you keep doing this is to just do it because you actually truly enjoy it and love it, right? And I think that that's what's happening even with you doing these streams. Is you generally just enjoy streaming right now,
Hmm.
and that's kind of like your 2 hours where you're kind of just doing something where you're catching up with a small group of people and you're just doing what you need to do,
Hmm.
right? So I think like yeah, just the longevity is just do it because you enjoy it, and if it keeps pulling you, like for example, just one thing I want to say, it's like for example with Instagram, it's like I'll get this urge where I want to shoot.
Hmm.
Like I'll just be like, bro, it's starting to get cold outside. I got this fit in my mind, and I'm about to, and I'll post that shit, and I'll be like, this is the craziest fucking fit. The background, the fit. This can nobody touch me, and it will get like 500 likes. And I'm like, are y'all crazy, bro? Like you know what I mean? So it's like yeah. So you just have to do it because you love it, man. Not because you're trying to make a career out of it. Not because you're trying to be someone that inspires you. You just do it because you enjoy it. That's
Hmm.
it.
Wow, ain't that the truth, fam? Ain't that the
Mm-hmm.
truth? Especially when you be put,
Mm-hmm.
bro. Sometimes, Do you know what? I'll finish on this note. The hard hitting
Yeah.
ones, yeah, is when you know that some of the stuff that we posted back in the day, it was cool for then. Looking back now, it's like, bro, how did
You're
this?
like
What?
trash.
What are we talking about? Yeah, and
Bro.
then you see what we're posting now, for a tenth of what we it used to get, brother. That's like a
One thing I will say though,
stab.
I'm and it's and this is just to be completely honest.
Mm.
You came guns blazing. I'm not gonna lie. When it comes to the cameras, I mean, I was the first one to tell you, bro, what fucking camera are you using? What lens are you using? What I learned so much from you. Like
Yeah.
even now, I think we use the same camera. We use a Sony A7S III. And it's like it took me more time, but like I remember, I just used to be like, "Yo, Sanj's quality is amazing." Sanj, Daniel, and maybe like one more person, but like I was always just like, no, I need to get whatever they're using. I need to, you know what I mean? I need to make sure, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, even now you look at the stream and I'm like, bro, why is this shit so clean, bro? Like this guy making me look bad. So that's one thing I would say, like apart from like your amazing taste. It's just your quality has always been top notch.
I mean, to be fair, I
sure.
told you exactly what I'm using, so I'm hoping that the next time we jump on the stream, things will be a bit.
Bro, I had it set up, but it didn't, because usually you set it up and then it gives you a Camlink 4K pop up, right?
No, you don't
Like
need
they
it.
should-
You don't even need that. So basically, as soon as it's a toggle that you have to do on your camera. I'll run it through next time we're on FaceTime.
Yeah,
Just for you to kind of, because I know you said that streaming is obviously early for you, but it could be something that you want to explore in the future. Bro,
For sure.
for me,
Yeah.
the way that I see it, it's like I mean, it's obviously not, you're not going to be pulling YouTube video numbers, right? It's like a tenth, maybe even a % of that.
Yeah.
But it's the ability to really connect with people. Sometimes it's fucking,
100%.
I mean, even today, there's not a huge amount of people. We've been fluctuating between 10 to 30. But it's just getting to know people and just like speaking to them, I think is so crucial.
Right.
Especially, everybody harps on about community, and I feel like we did that kind of authentically throughout the years anyway. It's not like we didn't come in just last year and be like, let's build a community.
Of course.
We've been harboring that for years, but it's nice to kind of just have that moment of like, yo, let's speak to people and
100%. 100%.
But bro, thank you so much for jumping on, man. What's the time out there now? It's like 12? Nah.
It's 2 actually.
2.
It's perfect time.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Perfect. You can go on to your workout. And
exactly.
yeah, bro. Nah. Someone also just said like, this guy's wisdom is insane. He should do more of this on his channel, and I completely agree. I think
it's hard though. I think I'll do it with you because it's so crazy. I fuck, we could go on forever, but like we won't. You guys don't understand how Sanj and I were like.
Bro, the glazing today is
like,
crazy.
No, but you have to understand that it's like there's people that like I have relationships with online. But I think with you, it was a situation where, like, I just remember even when we started talking, it was almost like a long lost brother. Like it was never forced. It was always just like, even the first time I came to London, like, and then we went to eat with my boy Marco and all that shit. It was so seamless, right?
Yeah.
And I think like the only way I would talk about certain deeper things is if it was like, let's say with you or like with people that I feel very comfortable with. Like I tell my girl all the time, I'm like, like Sanj is one of those guys, like anything he asks, I'll do. You know what I mean? Like it's like if he needs me somewhere, I'll I still have to come see the family. But but again, it's just like, yeah, I'm very intentional with my friendships,
Sure.
and it's like you're one of the guys that's a really good friend of mine. Not just an online acquaintance.
Of course, my brother. I couldn't have said that better. But yeah, so look to explore that, and maybe that's something that you can do, we can do, whatever. I mean, like I said, this is not going to be a one-time thing. I would love to kind of have you more and share more wisdom, and as the audience kind of grows, and I feel like, I don't know, I feel like there's just so much shit that's being shared, and I hope, at least I'm thankful for it, and I hope that the people watching were somewhat thankful for what was being shared, and hopefully they're able to apply it to themselves as well, whether that's in social media, designing, fucking any walks of life. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be within our
100%.
creative space. Anyway, my brother,
100%.
thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful. See how we both did that? I normally do this, but we went with this. Have a wonderful
Thank
Sunday.
you,
Enjoy your little workout mobility stretch thing, and look after
Yeah.
yourself. Send love
Thank
to
you, man.
everyone, and I'm gonna holla at you
Thank you.
later.
And say hi to the fam
I
for me,
shall
bro.
do. Ciao,
Like,
ciao.
I'm talking to you like I'm talking on FaceTime.
But I love that. I think we should keep that. All right, safe, my boy. Love.
Later, bro. Peace. Thank
Whoop, 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 whoop. Camera. So that was cute, wasn't it? That was cute. Nah, man. Honestly, I mean, I can sing his fucking praises all day long, but that was just basically a little glimpse into what I would love to do with these streams. Bring in people, some that you may know already, some that you won't know. Like one of the guests that I can't wait to bring is Hanan, who, if you've been following, I wasn't laughing in his face, but I'm just very bad, and he knows this. I'm just very bad at taking compliments. But we give each other our flowers, so it's all good. And yeah, I just want to bring in people that I can have really good conversations with, and then hopefully you might be able to pick out a thing or two. Because H, for example, if you've been following the channel for a while, you know who he is, obviously, but he's still someone that, you know, he's my best friend, but I still look up to him so much, and I learn so much from him, and I just feel like we should be trying to uplift each other, you know, the people in the audience, the people in the chat, and speak to you and kind of make sure that everybody does things better if we can. With that being said, he's not the barber. He owns a barber shop. His brother is the barber. With that being said, though, I'm going to end this stream right here. Thank you so much for the few individuals that always show up, that are always vocal. The people that are just watching, I'm good with that. Thank you for watching. But, like, you know, get involved in the conversation, fam. Say thank you, Flacco. Thank you, August. Thank you, Fira. He dropped a few words before. Who else? These were the people that were really, really going for it. Thank you, Sefton. Mackenzie, as usual. And, yeah, man, I'm going to end the stream right here. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day. Take care.